Hello everyone, welcome to Best Recipes with Sharon. All you need is one orange and a few simple ingredients that you likely already have around the house, and we can make these orange sun-kissed muffins. I think you'll be amazed at how moist and delicious these muffins are. Everyone loves these, so let's go ahead and preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and let's get started. You need to have about a half cup of chopped nuts, and you can use either pecans or walnuts. You'll also need a half cup of raisins and soak them in hot water for about 10 minutes before starting. Now I'm going to prepare this whole muffin batter in a blender. You don't have to do it this way, but because we're going to start with using the blender, I just follow through with it. You'll just need to use one orange, and you need to cut off all the peelings. And chop it into smaller pieces. Make sure you have an orange that has no seeds in it, and chop it up into little pieces like this and put the whole orange into the blender. Okay, so next we're going to add one large egg. Now add 1/4 cup of canola oil, and vegetable oil would work the same if that's what you have on hand. Now add half a cup of orange juice. Place the lid on the blender and go ahead and blend that together. At this point in time in the recipe, you can switch it over to a bowl and continue to mix, or you can just continue to add the ingredients to the blender. Now then add 1½ cups of all-purpose flour and 3/4 cup of white sugar. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and also 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Once again, place the lid on the blender and blend this mixture together. So if you're continuing to use the blender, you'll need to stop and mix it by hand to make sure that all the dry ingredients are well incorporated. And you'll have to mix around the outside to make sure that you don't slice your utensils on the sharp blades that are in the bottom of the blender. So now is when we'll add the half cup of chopped nuts, and I used pecans, and then a half cup of raisins, and you need to drain the water off of the raisins before adding them. And then just mix that in by hand by using a spatula or large spoon. Mix it well to make sure that all the ingredients are well combined, and can't use the blender at this point because it'll just chop up the raisins and the nuts too fine. And this worked out well for me today, but if you're finding it's too hard to mix it in the blender, pour it into the mixing bowl and continue to mix until it's blended. But muffins don't require a lot of mixing. So we go ahead now and we put paper cups into the muffin tins, and then we're ready to pour the batter in. This recipe will make enough for 12 muffins. So when you're pouring the batter in, make sure to evenly distribute them between 12 of them. Once your oven is preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, then you can go ahead and place them in the oven on the middle rack. I set the timer for about 18 minutes, and that seemed to work out just right. They will be golden brown on top, and a toothpick inserted in the middle will come out clean. And these do look beautifully sun-kissed. They're so golden brown. And they taste like a ray of sunshine too. With the citrus in it, it gives it just enough to accentuate the flavors. These are especially nice fresh from the oven while they're still hot. I took them out of the pan and placed them on a wire rack to finish cooling. But while they are still warm, I also sprinkled some white sugar over the tops of them. And you don't absolutely have to put the sugar over the top if you don't want to, but it does add a pleasantly sweet touch. So this is what it looks like inside when you cut one open. I think I'll have one with a cup of hot tea while I edit this video. And I'll slather some butter on it, eat the muffin while it's still slightly warm. And if you were here, I'd give one to you too. Sharing this video and the recipe with you is as good as I can do right now. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and thanks so much for watching. And until next time, happy eating.